started. So, good morning. So happy to see the sun shining today. Did any of you guys see the Northern Lights the other night? I saw it, but it didn't look like all the colors that that you would think of. But you could see it moving, and it was like white. It was more like white, grayish light. It was pretty cool though. Yeah. So on the news, I saw it on the news. Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't have known had I not been watching the news that night, which I typically don't that time of day. So I was surprised. But anyway, so we kind of finished our series on the agreements, but I want to get started. So just have a nice seat. Close your eyes. And just take a few long, slow, deep breaths to settle in. Check in physically and emotionally. And I wanted to start with a reading from Marianne Williamson. I've been struggling a bit lately with people that aren't really taking good care of our earth. So she says, like everyone, I have my prejudices, my opinions about those who do not agree with my view of the world. Yet my incapacity to love them is my own contribution to the fears that plague the planet. Today, I seek to love even those I cannot bring myself to like. I devote my day to blessing those whom I do not like, knowing that if I knew them as God knows them, then I would love them as He does. I ask not that they change, but that I might see them more clearly. May their innocence become obvious to me. Please bring hands to heart center. May we all learn to look and listen for the good in ourselves and in others. And in all living things and all of creation. Please lower your hands, open your eyes. And we're going to start in standing. And if you have really tight shoulders, I should have mentioned this for you guys at home. You can use a belt for this. So you're just going to stand in your best Tadasana. And then long side body, draw the head of the arm bones back, but keep your low ribs moving back, and then interlace your hands behind you. And if you're using a belt, knuckles back, so your palms are up, and then you can work to move them facing each other. Just feel that for a moment. And you can lift and lower a little bit. And then come to a place where it feels like you're supported both front and back, and then maybe move side to side a little bit. Feel different things in those shoulders. Good. And then go ahead and fold forward and bring the hands over. You can bend your knees since it's still early. And we're going to do a slow flow today. And I really want you to tap into your breath. So on your inhale, feel a little bit of an extension. And exhale, try and lengthen long. And do 5 breaths like that, just kind of noticing, being really careful with your shoulders. You can even notice your feet grounded. And that was 5 for me. So now I'm going to release my hand and come to just a regular forward fold. You want blocks here, you can. So just maybe bend one knee slightly and the other, just really feeling connection to the ground, but slight movement. Kind of like we're gonna try and slide the fascia around on our bodies today. Sometimes the fascia gets stuck. And just by slow, subtle movements, maybe you can feel it moving. You can shake your head out. And then go ahead and step back to a downward facing dog. And even here, I want you to move slightly. I'm going to have you hold this quite a while. So if you need to take a break to child's pose, you can. But feel your hands firmly planted, all parts connected. If you want to bend your knees, lengthen your spine, move your sits bones up and back, and re-straighten the knees. And then just do that a few times, just kind of moving with your breath. And find a place where you feel pretty calm, and then just walk your dog out a little bit. Feel the calves stretch. Bend one knee and the other. Think of really supporting your shoulders still, front and back. Good. And then widen your knees and come down to a child's pose. And then breathe deep into your low belly. And come on up to all fours. And just do some subtle cat-cows. So you're just mostly working in the fascia today. So think cow, cat with the breath, and just do slow breath. You can even move side to side a little bit, just working on fascia all over. So far, so good, Connie. Good. Good. And then pause, move your hands forward a bit to come up to downward facing dog again. Feel your knuckle mounds really connected. And then this next inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower the knees or lower down. You know what you're ready for. Inhale, cobra. Exhale down. And then push back, downward facing dog. Just very subtle little movements in down dog. Noticing. And then on your next inhale, come forward again, plank. Exhale, lower down. Cobra. Lower. And downward facing dog. And just feeling the breath move in and out and how there's subtle movement. And one more time on the inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. Downward facing dog. And then walk your hands slowly back to your feet. Come to a forward fold again. The back of your mat. If you want to, you can grab your elbows. Just kind of rock side to side a little bit. And really connecting to the feet, bring your hands on your knees, bending your knees, come up to a chair pose. Yeah, bring hands to heart center. Still working with your breath on your inhale. Stand up, Tadasana, stretch your arms up. And exhale, come back to chair pose. 2 more times like that. Inhale. Stand up. Exhale. Here. Keep your rib cage back. Inhale, stretch it. Exhale, bend to chair. This time, hold chair pose. You might not want to go so deep, or you can start higher and then slowly lower a little bit, because I'm going to have you monitor your breath still. And you're going to stay for 4 more breaths. Good. Bring your hands on your knees. Slowly slide the hands back down to the floor as you come to your forward fold. And walk your hands back out to a downward facing dog. Go slow with your knees bent. It should be starting to feel a little bit easier, a little bit looser, but still really connected. Good. Come forward to plank on your inhale. Exhale to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down. Downward facing dog. And actually lower to your knees because I'm going to have you locate your blocks and bring them under your hands. I'm going to bring mine to the medium height. You can do whatever you want with yours. And come on up to downward facing dog. And you can move your feet forward a little bit and bend your knees just so you can feel grounded through your heels, maybe a little more. And then extend your right leg. And open the hips so you're in wild dog. Your shoulders stay the same. You okay? Bend the knee. What do you feel? A pop of some sort? Oh, cramp. Yeah, and then on your inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, bend it. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. One more time. Inhale, straighten it. Exhale, bend. Good. Square up the hips. And step that foot all the way through to deep lunge. And just pause there. You can move, remembering you're trying to open the fascia a little bit. And maybe lift the heel high, kind of extend, and then round and stretch. Do that a couple more times. Inhale, extend. Uh-oh, let's hope it's not school. Round. And one more time. Extend. And maybe around. Now, keeping the right hip crease back, lift your back heel high. Now, some of you might want to step forward so you can ground that heel down to warrior one. I'm going to stay in crescent warrior with the heel lifted. Bring your hands to your front knee. And just see how your balance is here. Extend up, crescent. Bring your right hand down by your hip. And see about arcing to your right just a little bit. Come back to center. Stretch both arms up. Exhale, lift your heart. Bend the elbows. Inhale, stretch back up. And exhale, touch down. Good. Step forward for a moment. Inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold. Trying to get you to really just move with your breath. It's like your dance partner. You lead, the breath leads, and you follow. One more time, pranam. And fold. Step back to that downward facing dog on the blocks. We'll have to do the other side. So if you want to step forward, you can. Personally, I like my heels lifted, my knees slightly bent. Down the left leg, open the hip, bend the knee. On the inhale, lengthen it. Exhale, bend. Keep the right shoulder engaged. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. One more time. Square up the hips, step that foot through. Deep lunge. Inhale, lift the back heel, lengthen long. Exhale, lower it a little bit, around. Keep the hips square. 2 more times. Think of moving that fascia around. Good, now on your next inhale, bring your hands to your front knee so you can come upright. You can step that foot forward, don't forget that, if you want to feel grounded. Stretch your arms up, cross it. Keep feeling your breath on your next exhale, hand by your hip, arc to the left. On your next inhale, come back to center. Exhale, bend the elbows, lift the heart. Inhale, stretch up. And exhale, touch down. Step back, downward facing dog. Lower your knees. You're just gonna set the blocks to the side for a moment. So we're gonna do vinyasa again. So come up, downward facing dog, just still tapping into your breath. Inhale to plank. Exhale, lower. Cobra. And lower. Push back to all fours. Find your blocks under your hands. Come to downward. Downward facing dog. We're gonna do that same sequence again, but we might hold for a little longer to find a few breaths. We're not gonna hold the wild dog though, so extend the right leg, step it through deep lunge. Come on up to crescent. And I want you to just kind of feel a movement here. So right hip crease stays back. You're gonna stay for 3 breaths. On your next exhale, bring your right hand down by your hip and arc to the right. It has to be really subtle. You have to keep your hips square. Next inhale, stretch both arms up, come up. 3 breaths. Just notice the subtle movement as you breathe. Okay, now bend your elbows, lift your heart. 3 breaths here. Next inhale, stretch the arms up. One more breath. And touch down. Ooh, step back, downward facing dog. Well done, guys. Take a child's pose for a minute between sides, even though we feel all out of balance. I think it'll feel good. And then make your way back to the second side. Downward facing dog. And if at any moment you need to lower the back knee or do something different, feel free. Extend the left leg, step it through, deep lunge. Make sure you have plenty of width between your feet so they're at least hip distance, and come up, crescent warrior. Notice the subtle movement. So your low belly up. On the exhale, left arm down, arc to your left. 3 breaths. Next inhale, sweep both arms back up. Crescent warrior again. Left hip crease stays back, low belly draws up. Good. On the exhale, open the heart. Maybe shift your gaze if that works. Good. Inhale, stretch the arms up. This is the 3rd breath. And touch down. Good. Step forward, Uttanasana. On your next inhale, sweep and rise. And bring hands to heart center. And just stay there for a couple, about 3 breaths. Good job. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Look up. Exhale, fold. Pranam. And fold. Step the right foot back to a deep lunge. Ground the back foot down. Come on up to warrior 2. So just kind of set your stance. Kind of check in. How's it feel? Where can I be stronger? Is my back foot grounded? My knees tracking straight? I can still see my big toe. I feel really connected in the core. And then I'm going to have you hold it for 5 breaths. Feel the subtle changes that happen. Maybe fascia movement a little bit as you breathe. On your next inhale, straighten your left leg. And you're going to fold to triangle, but I want you to start high. So start kind of up near your knee. Your block's there. You can always use it. And then just slowly with each breath, maybe go into a deeper expression of the pose. Really notice though, still connected, shoulder blades on the back, rib cage back, long back of neck. One more breath. On your next inhale, bend the front knee, touch your hands down, turn the back heel up, step back, downward facing dog. Extend the right leg, step it through, deep lunge. Ground the back foot down. come up, warrior two. I have my back to you. You guys can check me to see if I'm still as connected. Just make sure your alignment's good. Feel the back foot, front foot, core, 5 breaths. A subtle movement. Four, 5. On your next inhale, straighten the front leg, fold into triangle pose, and start high. You can always move and go lower. Blocks there if you want it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Bend the front knee, touch the hands down, turn the back heel up, and step back, down dog. And go ahead and lower your knees, move your block. You can take child's pose, or if you want to do vinyasa with me, please do. So, downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Okay, exhale low. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. Downward facing dog. One more time. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. Downward facing dog. Step your feet to your hands. Come to a forward fold there. I'm going to encourage you to grab your blocks again. And step your left foot back first to that deep lunge position. Bring your blocks to the higher height. Come up to crescent. On your next inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, fold. Hold for 5 breaths. You can think, inhale, extend if you want. Hips stay square. Back heel lift. Exhale, fold deep. Whatever works for you. Hug the feet towards each other. Get the right hip crease to stay back. Good. On your next inhale, bend your front knee. Step back, downward facing dog. Extend the left leg and step it through deep lunge. You can use those blocks on the higher height if you want, you decide. Inhale, come up, crescent. On your next inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, fold over the leg. And stay for 5 breaths. Sometimes you learn a lot about yourself When you hold poses longer, you learn more about your poses. You learn more about your mental endurance and your physical endurance. And your next inhale, bend the front knee and step back, downward facing dog. And lower your knees. You can move your blocks off to the side for a moment and go ahead and come to your back or your seated position. That's what I meant. Your butt. There you go. And then just kind of draw your legs into the socket. So I'm not having you sit on a blanket. So I want you to feel nice and tall. So bring your hands behind you, see if you can feel super tall in Dandasana. We just opened our hips a little bit, or our hamstrings a little bit. We're going to open them a little bit more. I want you to do it like this. So inhale, stretch your arms up, and you're going to reach forward on the exhale and see if you can find the little toe side of your feet. If you can't, bend your knees until you can find them. Yeah. And then 5 breaths here. Think inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, maybe round down over a little bit. Every time, if your knees are bent, you can straighten them a little bit more. I'm thinking pranam kind of on the inhale and exhale. And then once you get to a spot where you think, oh, that's as far as I'm ever going to go, just hold for a few more breaths. And then slowly come on up. Feels kind of good, right? Bring your hands behind you and turn the fingers out. And I want your wrists to be slightly wider than your shoulders. Bend your knees, bring your feet flat. And just tell yourself, oh, I want to just lift my heart. I'm going to feel all parts of my feet grounded. And then you're just going to lift up to tabletop on the inhale. Support your shoulders, front and back. And exhale, lower. So think, broaden the clavicles, shoulder blades on the back as you lift. And exhale, lower. 3 more times. And if it doesn't feel good, you can just stay in that seated position. 1 more time. Think, really supported in the shoulders. I want you to feel the stretch everywhere else. Good. And then come on down. And come back to all 4s. And just do a few cow cats. Good. And then pause. Find your blocks again. And come to downward facing dog on the blocks. And extend your left leg and step it to the outside of the block. Keep your hips square, lower the back knee. And just kind of come to a space. Now, I like to widen my left knee off to the left a little bit, but I have to keep really hugging my heel and my back knee towards each other. And then I can lengthen my spine and maybe lower down to the blocks. Or some of you might even go all the way to the floor. It's whatever works for you. And then just pause there for 5 breaths. This is called lizard lunge. Lengthen, yeah. And it's okay to stay up on your hands, totally fine. Yeah, I wouldn't push this. I forgot about this one. Yeah. Think of 2 subtle movements, just opening the fascia. Good, and then come back up on your hand, and you're gonna stretch your left hand forward, and then just twist and open up. And then if you want to add the quad stretch, maybe bend the back knee, find the foot. Hug the heel and the knee towards each other. And release. Good. Was that a crack in your knee? Good. Lift the back knee, step back, and we'll switch sides. Extend the right leg, step it to the outside of the block. Lower the back knee. Hug to the midline, come to a, keep thinking. Right hip stays square with the left, long spine, and then maybe lower. Don't push it. Kneecap and toes point the same direction. I'm always hugging to the midline because it feels a little safer to me. It feels like more stretch, but it feels like a safe stretch. I'm not going to overstretch if I have that muscle energy going. That's the tractor. Good. Come back up on your hands. This time, stretch your right arm up and open up for that little twist. Lift your heart. And if you want to add the quad stretch, you can. Hug to the knee forward. And release. And just swing that leg around to all 4s. Curl your toes under. And I'm going to encourage you to bring your blanket and tuck it in behind your knees. You don't have to, and then you can sit back on the blanket. Yeah, this feels kind of nice, right? It kind of adds room behind your knees, so it kind of feels good. We're going to stay for a little bit, but I'm going to add a little movement. So inhale, lift and extend the arms. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back down. Whew. One more time. And come back down. Good. Now come forward and stretch your feet long. You can keep the blanket there if you want and sit back again. You'll feel the widening a little more in this position. Good. Now you have a little further to lift, but let's try it. So think long spine, inhale, lift. Press your feet down, press the toes down evenly. 2 more times. Last time. I'm going to slide my blanket out and just see how it feels. If you got your quads open enough, if you want to, you can even sit between the heels, lean back. Yeah. Only if it's feeling good. I'm feeling the need to stretch my quads a little more, so. Nice long spine here. And then come on up. Good. You can move the blocks out of the way. You might have one handy because you might need it for where we're going next, and come onto your back. Oh, that feels good, huh? So feet right underneath, hands by your hips. Just kind of feel your sits bones grounded, your rib cage is back, your spine is nice and long. And then press into your feet and lift your hips. Satu Bandha. You can interlace your hands if your arms can stay long, and you can get the shoulders kind of where you want them to support you. And then you're just going to stay for 5 breaths. Now, of course, if you are ready to come down, feel free. You can just come down, but let's try 5 breaths. So inhale, exhale. 2, just be scanning and looking ways that you can make it feel better. Last breath. And lower all the way down. You'll have to move your hands, hug your knees in for a moment. Just roll side to side. And I'm going to give you some options because I'm going to have you do that again. You could do supported Satu Bandha. So you put the block underneath. You could do Satu Bandha again, or if you're feeling really open, you want to go all the way to Urdhva Dhanurasana, which is bow pose, and feel free. So I'm going to try that. It's hard to hold for that long. So see how it goes. So whichever variation you're planning on, I'm going to do bow pose. So I'm bringing my hands so my fingers point back. Then I lift to Satu Bandha, lift maybe to the top of my head, adjust my hands, and then lift. So whatever variation you're doing, start counting. Feel subtle movement as you breathe. One more breath. And on the exhale, lower down. Just take that in. Bring your arms to cactus. So just do a few windshield wipers. Or there's something else that would feel better for you today. You can do that. Good, and then bring both knees up. Bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees open. That works for you. Don't. Okay, you don't have to do that. That doesn't feel good. And then I guarantee this is going to feel good. Just bring your knees together. Hug your knees up a little bit and then extend your legs long towards the ceiling. Hands by your hips. Just legs up the wall, but you don't have a wall. And then just move your feet around. Allow all the fluids in your legs to just drain back down into your pelvis. You still feel a little curve in your low back. Are you still monitoring your breath? That was 5 for me. So now I'm going to hug my knees into my chest. Hug them really tight. Feel the low back against the floor. Roll side to side 2 times. Remembering that, working on the fascia. And then just grabbing the kneecaps, just slowly push the knees away from you as you roll side to side, just kind of feeling different muscle groups get attention until your arms are full length. Your feet just dangle, but you're still moving steadily side to side. And then release your feet and stretch out for Shavasana. And settle in. Feel the floor supporting you. And as you relax, I'd just like to walk you through a little exercise. We call it a loving kindness meditation. We'll let go of any thoughts or feelings you may be experiencing. Just do a simple body scan, allowing everything to relax and release. Now bring to mind someone that has shown you great kindness and love. Someone who easily brings feelings of warmth and love to you. It can be a spouse, a close friend, a parent, a mentor, someone who's still living, or even someone that's passed on. Someone who's been good to you and helps you to feel safe and whole. Whose caring easily emanates from them to you. And see if you can look in your mind's eye and see their eyes gazing at you. You can, just no big deal. You can just feel the warmth. Maybe even you can picture them extending their arms to you, comforting you. Without saying a thing, you feel as if they are saying to you that they wish you to be happy, healthy, and whole. That you have love, warmth, and affection. They're wishing you to be protected from harm, free from fear, and that you feel alive, engaged, and joyful. And you're able to find peace and ease. Letting those feelings wash over you. Feeling their unconditional love. Feelings of love and safety grow in you. Now wish that back to them. Maybe you can still see their eyes. Without saying anything, just say with your eyes that you want them to be happy, healthy, and whole. May you have love, warmth, and affection in your life. May you be protected from harm and free from fear. May you be alive, engaged, and joyful. May you experience inner peace and ease. Maybe there's other family members or loved ones, a child, or even a pet that you want to extend loving, kind wishes to. So you wish them to be happy, healthy, and loved, safe and protected, alive and free, and to have peace and ease. It might even be possible to expand even further out to acquaintances, people that you see on the street or in the neighborhood that you don't know real well. You don't have strong feelings about them. But you can wish them to be happy and healthy and loved. May they be safe and protected, free from suffering. May they be alive, engaged, and joyful. And may they have peace and ease. And even if the wishes aren't infused with the same warmth and love as they were with your loved ones, even if you can extend the wish without expectation that it should make you or them feel any particular way, Just connecting with what these wishes represent, keeping these people in your awareness as you send good wishes their way. You might even try extending these wishes to someone who's been difficult for you. Not necessarily the most difficult person in your life, just someone for whom there's been some sort of frustration or misunderstanding. In doing this, it might help to remember that just like you, they just want to be loved. May you be happy, healthy, and loved. May you be safe and protected, free from suffering. May you be alive, engaged, and joyful. And may you have inner peace and ease. And lastly, maybe try to extend these wishes out to all living beings on this planet. Trees, pets, wild animals, all people, near and far. May they be happy, healthy, and loved, safe and protected, alive and free, and have peace and ease. Excuse me. Begin to notice your breath. Encourage it to become a little deeper. Start to move in small ways. Eventually, pushing on up to seated. Just take your time. And I took the loving kindness to heart, didn't she? And just close your eyes. Just sit for a few moments, just checking in and see how you felt at the start of practice and maybe how you feel now. Hopefully better physically and emotionally. They're always my goals. Hope you feel better. Bring hands to heart center. I wish you to be happy, healthy, and loved, full of peace and feeling safe. Thanks for practicing. Namaste. Ah, was it good? Good. that vertigo is not fun. Have a great day, you guys.
Thanks, Lisa.